discussing on another trending issue. And this time around, we'll be taking a look at this season, most especially on the high cost of commodities in our market and how it is affecting Nigerians in view of the fact that Christmas is fast approaching, end of year, and of course, New Year celebration. How can Nigerians cope with this high cost of living, foodstuff, and others in order to survive this season? Some are saying that December is quite long. Yes, the month is quite long because it's seasonal period and what have you. So this is our focus this beautiful Monday morning in the program Nigeria Today. You can be part of the program by calling through the number 09038808883. That is 09038808883. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, Prestige FM Mina, and we're streaming live on our Facebook page, Prestigefm91.7mx, and on radio app, prestigefmradio.org.ng. Not forgetting that we're also live on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Prestigefm91.7mx. All right, Dr. Muhammad Entelali, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, and good morning, our listeners.
Okay, we would like to seize this opportunity to wish our colleague happy birthday, talking about Otachi, Chief Crusader himself. He is getting younger, not older, Doctor.
Yes, exactly. As you can see, the difference of what he looks like last year and how he's looking like this year. He's looking much more younger, more fresher, more robust.
All right, Crusader, we're wishing you God's blessings always. All right, Dr. Entala, is the seasonal period and of course the volatile period where people rush to the market, be it you're celebrating the Christmas or not, end of the year. Well, it's a normal tradition that you find that some prices of commodities go down during December, but this year it seems like it is totally different.
Yes, it is quite different. No thanks to what initiated it, the removal of subsidy. That
the root cause.
The root cause, exactly. It has remained a monster and something that Nigerians will continue to have in their psyche for a very long time to come. The removal of subsidy came and brought everything down to its nil, ranging from transportation to cost of living, the general cost of living, and so on and so forth. Essential social services have equally gone up, and so many people have found it very difficult to do things that hitherto they could do very easily, but now those things are gradually getting out of hand. Some of the meals that you can put easily on the table is no longer feasible, and so many things appear to have gone haywire. And even as people are trying so much to see that they make a meaningful living, simple living is gradually getting out of hand, and already some people are paying the supreme price with their lives as a result of this kind of situations. Those within the corridor of power wouldn't know some of these things, but those who are downtrodden will definitely know that what I mean by this. So you can see that the Christmas celebration is another festivity that is on the line. Nigeria is full of festivities, and anytime festivities like this are coming, heads of families have always have shivers down their spine, ranging from what they could provide for the children and then the food that they could put on the table during the festivity. These are some of the major concerns of many heads of families, and you realize that for so many years, even when things appear to be much more easier, it has been something that have caused sleepless nights to many families. And how much more of now that we have come up with this monster of a subsidy that have refused to improve the life of anyone. And you can see that already people are running helter-skelter trying to see what they can do. For many families, I think they've resigned to fate. Whatever God's provide is what I will give to my family. And for some families, understandably, between the two spouses, they've already understood that things are not like before and are ready to take in whatever is available as part of their Christmas celebrations. Many families are gradually conditioning their children to accept the fact that things will never be like before again. And for those kind of families, they will find it much more easier to celebrate the Christmas. While we have some families, again, who never believed that their lives could go down in terms of quality of what they are producing or what they are consuming. And for them, they've gone haywires, taking loans here and there, borrowing money everywhere, trying to maintain a certain standard of living, which is very unhealthy. And for such kind of families, of course, they are already neck deep into financial crisis.
Definitely.
And this Christmas celebration is only going to add more to their worsening situation. And that is not the kind of living that I will advise any family to go into. If you don't have, you don't have. You cannot try to impress people while you dip yourself further into financial mess. I have seen quite a number of heads of families who have approached the bank to borrow money to celebrate Christmas. They've approached the cooperatives to borrow money to celebrate Christmas. They've approached friends and other people to borrow money to celebrate Christmas. That is not the way to go. And I believe that for such kind of individuals with such kind of thought, they are already neck deep into problems, and it is not going to be healthy for them. But for so many families, I believe they've already come to terms with reality and are ready to take in whatever is available. So for an average family, I think you can make do with the clothes you wore last Christmas, or you can go for even cheaper ones if you have extra money to provide for the children, since the children are the ones who appear to be more enthusiastic about the fanfare that comes with the Christmas. And you realize that for many of these children, there is no cloth. It's simply not an excuse, because for them, they feel the Christmas is here and new clothes should also come with the Christmas. And you know, it will be very difficult for such kind of children to get convinced that they will not be wearing new clothes for this Christmas. So for heads of families, try as much as possible to talk to the family, to convince the family, discuss within the family unit, and try to come up amicably with a solution on how to confront the festivity. In terms of food, you can see that the raw food is already has already blown off the roof over time. The price of a bag of rice today is ranging between 85 to 100,000, and then you also have other perishables such as tomatoes, onions, and the rest.
Onions,
yes. You know, for a bag of onion today is 260,000 naira. One bag of onion, 260,000 naira. So you can see, if you are buying 500 naira onion, it can hardly prepare a soup for you. So you can see that that also is an angle that heads of families need to look into. When the head of the family is coming up with just 1,000 naira onions, I believe that the spouse should also, as a matter of peaceful resolution, accepted that this is what he can afford. If he is coming with perishables such as tomato, pepper, and even the onions that are not as much as what he is used to bringing, it is because that is what the pocket can support at the time. And if he's coming with probably a beef instead of a turkey, I think this is what the pocket can support for that festivity. So for so many families, they need to think deeply and reflect backward that during the good days or good old times, we have enjoyed the Christmas. Now it is because of this and because of that. Yes, the government will have to be blamed squarely, because the government came with these economic policies and have failed woefully in terms of coming with cushioning measures that will help to cushion the effect of the removal of subsidy. You can see distribution of palliatives have failed woefully. So many other measures that the government said it is taking they were not actually measures, but they were simply steps taken to deceive the uninformed. And cronies of the government have equally swarmed around the fund and have simply siphoned many of the funds into private pockets. Where is the palliatives today? Where are the monies that were set aside for all those interventions? Nobody, they are nowhere to be found. And yet the government keep on coming out to tell us it has spent this amount and that amount of money as palliatives, as cushioning effect, as support programs for small-scale businesses and all of that. Small-scale businesses are dying in droves, and the bulk of Nigerians are the ones running these small-scale businesses. People are elbowed out of businesses as a result of the removal of this subsidy and other subsequent economic measures taken by the government. And of course, it is the bulk of these people who are to celebrate the Christmas today. I have heard the wife of the president saying there is no food for a lazy man. That is a very careless statement.
You can't blame her. Even the president, it was of recent that he admitted the fact that definitely Nigerians are suffering due to popular policies of his administration.
Exactly. You know, for a country that your husband is running, whose policies are causing pain to the citizens, yet we are saying there is no food for a lazy man. I mean, are Nigerians lazy? Is that what she's saying? Is she the one feeding Nigerians in the past? I mean, an average Nigerian is a hard-working person. People work hard in Nigeria. Nigerians are hard-working people. And wherever you find a Nigerian, you see him as a hard-working person comparable to any other hard-working person around the world. So I believe that such kind of statements are very reckless, uncalled for, and provocative as well. So I believe government must do all it can to pull the citizens out of the current situation, because the current situation is not palatable at all. Celebrations are no longer celebrated. You celebrate, but you take a sit-down-look posture, as the late Bola Ige has put it. You simply take a sit-down look posture, reflecting backward at some of those good old days and not the present moment, because the present moment is nothing to write home about, because the present situation is not friendly at all, because you cannot afford those things that you are used to afford in the past. And if the president himself is saying that Nigerians are used to living a fake comfortable life, you know, that is also another reckless statement, to say Nigerians are living a fake comfortable life. I mean, that is uncalled for.
Even a former minister did say that Nigerians can afford to feed in less than 500 naira in a day.
Those are reckless. These are people who are removed from realities. These are people who are marooned within the comfort of their offices. And because they've been marooned, they have been locked out of what is happening in the outside world. It's the same thing that is happening to even Mr. President himself. After so many calls by citizens, by close relatives and all of that, he refused, he disagreed that Nigerians are suffering. And now that he's coming out to say that Nigerians are suffering, where was he in the past? Where was he when his attention was being called that his policies are causing pain to the citizens? You know, these are issues that he and members of his family and even his cabinet ministers need to look at. Because for you to come out and make such kind of reckless statement, you know, it only adds salt to injuries. Because already Nigerians are in a pensive mood. Nigerians are already feeling the pain. Nigerians are wallowing in abject penury. Nigerians' hopes are dying daily. Small-scale businesses are equally folding up. Investors, both foreign and local, are also withdrawing their investment. In the last 18 months, over 60 companies, foreign companies, have decided to pack their things and leave the country. So what are we saying? And these foreign investors are usually the ones who can create job opportunities. And by extension too, add value to even local entrepreneurs. And the local entrepreneurs are not surviving. Many of them have to close shop because they cannot withstand the situation. Is it the heavy tax that they have to contend with, or is it the cost of production? Electricity is none, is nil.
Insecurity.
Insecurity is equally another thing. And then you have to pay taxes.
Double taxation.
Multiple taxation.
Yes.
You know, these are all situations that have led to the kind of situation we find ourselves today. So you can see, in this Christmas, I believe, Nigerians will celebrate Christmas. But of course, there may be nothing to write home about. The fanfare that usually goes with Christmas celebration will definitely be missed. Because many families will only grapple to provide a decent meal on the table on that day. And many families will only struggle to provide a decent dressing for the children, not for themselves. Of course, in the past, the entire family will be in new clothes. But today, I believe many heads of families will sacrifice and rather buy new clothes for the children. And then for some families, there may not even be new clothes for the children. So these are the kind of situation that we find ourselves in today. But when you make comment in this kind of situation, those within the corridors of powers always have the feeling that you are only trying to ignite hatred for the government, you are trying to misrepresent issues, you are misrepresenting facts. Thank God Nigerians are the ones feeling the heat. And after some time, some will also give room for many Nigerians to ventilate their own opinions. And definitely we'll see the area of opinions that are likely to follow. But I believe that for anybody who is in Nigeria, definitely is not finding it funny.
All right, but when you talk about adjustments in the home front, whereby the spouses has to come to terms with reality, and of course the children also, do you think that is just in this season that parents are supposed to sit down and educate their kids that this is the current situation? If you look at what is happening before December, some students or some children, their schools were changed. The way that they take their breakfast lunchbox to the school were changed also to intended with the reality on ground. I think the parents must have advanced notice to the children that this is what is happening.
Yeah, yes, of course. Many parents have to change the schools of their children to a much more school that charges lower school fees. That is one. Many of the things that children are used to taking to school are no longer there. The changes started gradually. While at the initial stage, they take so many things such as drinks and biscuits and all of that to school. Gradually, that changes to some fried items such as fried plantain or fried potato or sometimes even fried yam. But of course, those things also become unaffordable. And for many parents, they simply change to giving out money to the children to go and buy whatever they could lay their hands on. Some of the children will patronize these our sellers and buy. But after sometimes, even that is not equally feasible. For example, I will give an example with myself. I started with all of these things. After sometimes, I have to settle down with giving them pocket money. But even the pocket money is not enough.
It's not.
Because you give 100 naira to a child and he tells you, what will I buy with 100
Definitely.
naira?
Because even if it is our order, it's 50-50 naira.
50-50
Will
naira.
we take 2 pieces?
You only take 2 and you need water. He has
you.
to drink water as well. So after sometimes, even the 100 naira is not feasible again. So you realize that how do you cope?
Times the number of kids there, then the days.
Assuming you even have 3 kids, that is 300 naira every day, not to talk of their transportation. And then the 300 naira is not enough. And if you decide to move it to higher, maybe 500 naira, that also will dig a deep hole in your pocket because of the competing demands before. So you realize that so many things are happening. And then don't forget, you are also paying their transportation to school.
Again. Nothing less than 200 or more. It depends on the proximity
of the school. And sometimes you arrange with the NAPEP owner. He comes in every morning to pick the children and then